Welcome in, guys. This is KarsaKKWx. Karsa's my name. KKWX is my empire. Today we're going to be playing a little bit of Waystone Mysteries. And does anybody remember what happened last time?
We had a bunch of conversations. There you go. I gave it to you in one sentence.
Yes, you did. You met Ashley. You also met Hayden and a few others that were kind of important to the group.
A longer form version. We got back to the bar the next night. Elle tried to investigate how Candy was doing and got some very brush-off answers from Hayden, which Elle was not very receptive to. Eventually, we all made it into the basement after some personal conversations and some other things to find out that there's this whole supernatural hunting society under. Met a few of the workers there, the ones you just named. Found out that Candy is indeed fine, as far as we know. Probably fine. Probably no big deal. Had some conversations there. Found out that there's I don't know, a giant fairy ring under there that's some nexus point for energies and causing things to go all haywire in Boston. Yeah. It was mostly conversations. We didn't really move along on too much.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. So are we on the next day? Is that what we are on, Hayden?
Pretty much.
Okay, so we are on the next day. Is there anything you guys wanted to do before we got to this next day?
The hell did I drink last night?
I think I have something. I don't know if I. No, it can wait till we're at the bar.
Okay. So you guys then are at the bar. Back in the normal speakeasy. Do you like
I suppose I should have asked this question, although what I wanted it doesn't have exactly a time frame on it. I forgot. Is Brandy a student at the college?
Yes, she is.
Okay, fine. We'll go with that. Yes, she is.
It solves the 300-word answer.
Yes. Yes, she is of the college. This is an alternate universe. We're fine. Brandy is taking currently letters and also agricultural business.
Well, I also could have solved this by talking to Francis, but now I have to talk it to an NPC. So, Elle turns to Brandy. Would you mind doing me a favor?
What is it, darling?
I need you to get me Gary's class schedule. I don't need the exact classes, I just need to know what building he's going to be in and when.
Oh, sure. I can work some magic on that.
I found out some troubling information. He's going to need an extra class in manners and etiquette.
Oh, that was that guy that came in the other night.
Yes. The one I kicked out.
Right. Yes, that one. Sure, darling. I might be doing it a little bit interesting, but yeah.
There's no rush. Whenever you can.
All right.
Again, I don't need his exact classes. Basically, just the last one.
Sure. I can figure this out, darling. Let you know within the week. Within maybe a few days, even.
Thank you. And if it becomes too much of an issue, don't worry. Francis is a teacher. Can I get access to the student registry?
That's true.
That was it. All I got.
All right. And they continue back, and she's going to play with that belt again.
She can try all she wants.
She still has a fascination for that second belt. And the music continues on going. Right. Who's next? What are you
Are we at the bar?
Yes, you are at the bar.
Nope.
Mhm.
Turn to my two compatriots and ask them. So, are we gonna need to develop some kind of secret handshake or something?
I was just thinking we could give ourselves a group name. That'd be fun.
A group name, huh?
Yeah.
Camera pans to L, scrunching their face
What?
at the hearing
Okay,
group
what?
name.
All right, I have to ask, what purpose does this serve?
What, of making a group name?
Team building exercise.
Yes. See, he gets it.
Team building exercise.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. It's like being back at the academy again. Okay.
In many ways, we are. This man's gonna make a proper boy out of you yet.
L will almost spit out whatever drink they have here. That
Jack looks over at the spit and then looks back to you guys at the bar and like, oh, guys.
You're Cain coughing up a lung pretty much from like choking on his alcohol. That's because he overheard the comment and started laughing. Start coughing.
wait, so Kate and L basically have the exact same reaction at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much. Except for you almost spit it out. Cain was taking an actual drink and just gets caught in his throat and starts coughing.
Jack has to come over. Somewhere he ends up pulling out like 6 extra rags and starts cleaning up.
I'll wave him off. He's like, I'll take care of it. That's my best.
You leave Elle a couple of rags and wander back.
No idea where he pulled them from, but he had them.
He pulled it from his apron of holding, that's where.
Hey, he went to clown college.
Something
like-
happened. Who knows?
You haven't figured out that he's actually a cryptid from the bartender dimension. He just osmosizes them.
I accept this.
I used to roleplay a bartender and
Continues on, and the music gets lively.
to be fair, does the group come to consensus on a name?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking the Avengers.
At that point, I'm pretty sure everybody at the bar throws something at you at once.
Yo,
Okay,
Where the fuck did everybody get tomatoes from?
But what
Yeah,
are we
so-
avenging, really?
Yeah, so Francis, you immediately take 19 harm from all the tomatoes that suddenly just drop from the ceiling.
Yes, I
just
turned into tomato sauce.
Wait, I got it.
Tomatoes.
It's clever on... Hold on, I got it. It's clever on multiple levels. We are the Midnight Crew.
The Midnight Crew.
Hmm.
That's an interesting name. Okay.
The Midnight Crew opens up at 9:30.
You're always there at 9 o'clock. Even though it's the Midnight Crew. Interesting.
Jack's kind of leaning on the bar, half listening to this, scoffing at it while he's having a talk with the other NPC that's here. But just kind of having small talk at the moment.
Brandy's
Oh.
oblivious at the kind of conversation that you guys are doing. Seems to always be oblivious. Still
Well,
playing with the belt.
it's kind of at the point where like Elle and Cain are just listening but not really participating in the conversation. But Elle will turn to Cain. I suppose if they're gonna pick one Midnight Cruise, at least palatable.
Cain's just gonna
Yeah.
kind of grunt. Just like
Yeah,
not
crew works.
kind of paying attention, but he's just kind of going with the flow.
If we're gonna steal already existing IPs, I think Helldivers would be better.
Yeah, that I can agree
Uh,
with.
I didn't tell you what Avengers I was choosing.
Doesn't
Just wait.
matter.
I do realize you do realize that that lawyers can time travel, right?
That's why I said if we're going to steal it. I didn't say we were.
That's definitely
A
gonna
bunch
be
of lawyers that time
stripped
travel
out.
back to the 1920s. Let's file suit.
All right, that all has got to be stripped out. It's a
Yeah.
joke.
The purpose
Yeah.
is a comedy, therefore it is fair use.
Yeah, you're not trying
Well,
to profit
neither of them
off.
exist yet. Well, none of them
Yeah.
exist yet. There were, in fact, several organizations, groups, or individuals called the Avengers over the years. Now, if one of us were to go around carrying a big shield with a star on it, then we'd have trouble.
Fair enough.
Stars and stripes forever. So that's what they tell me.
All of this concept that Nathaniel is actually like a temporal entity, so he actually knows all of these things in the future.
No, he's just a temporal lawyer.
Do you say
If it-
voyeur?
No, lawyer. With an L. Like,
Okay.
you know,
Albeit I'm gonna
Yeah,
laugh. I like your idea better. It's kind of funnier.
What, a temporal voyeur?
no, that's L.
But... Yeah.
Jeez.
I've come back through time to stare through your window.
I'm specifically here this week because it's next week that you plant those bushes.
Well, while you're doing that, Cain will look, or not Cain, I'll look over at Cain. So, the one they introduced us to, Kara. The name rings a bell. Is that the equipment dealer you've been going to?
Yup, she owns a general store in town. At least one of them.
How did you come to find out that she will equip you for your hunts?
You know, I actually genuinely don't remember.
That's not a good thing.
No, it's not. Probably had a concussion one time during a hunt.
One time, remembering that you took like fucking 6 arm in the last couple fights.
Not to mention electroshock therapy.
Yeah, that electricity has an effect on memory too.
It's like, and you're still remembering stuff. Ow. Okay then.
I mean, Francis will look over them. I'm getting silver bullets from her for years.
Kane's gonna look up. I highly doubt that. You would have to know
No.
her password for that.
You think I can make?
I
Think
think
I
you're just
make all of
paranoid.
them?
No, I will like kind of look at the ceiling a little slightly confused, be like, no, he's the kind of guy that could guess it accidentally.
Yeah, actually, yeah. You're right. He would be. Yeah, I generally don't remember. I don't remember which concussion it was either, though.
You should stop using your head to absorb the hits.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Unless your goal is to be like Francis.
Yeah, no.
Advice: don't. People tend to not like you when you're like me.
I don't like you when you're like you.
That's my point.
Ashley heads
Alright.
over to the bar. It says, hello. How are you, Jack?
Good.
You seen Mr. Hayden lately? The great Scott himself?
He just kind of lets his thumb at the back door.
Right. Got some news for him. I for you guys too. Anyway, if you want to know about it, we could talk about it later. Anyway, heading back there. And she heads back to the back for a few moments. Mhm.
Nothing.
Being a secret society, they do like to skirt the line on being secret.
Yeah, they do.
Knowing that Randy probably isn't paying that much attention.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Randy, dear, if you wouldn't mind.
Mhm.
I saw the other night you were rather friendly with Candy.
Yes. We take the same class.
Would
We're
you-
in Professor's of Letters class over there.
Hi.
Hi.
Would you mind keeping an eye on her, maybe? I don't know, being a shoulder to cry on. Her most recent boyfriend has unfortunately left this world.
Of course I will.
I think she's gonna need somebody.
Of course. Sure, I'll help. Maybe we can go shopping or something.
That could be good. And if when she's ready to go out, I have somewhere you could take her.
Okay. Anywhere particular?
Yeah, and Elle will take out a pen, write an address on a piece of paper. Take her there.
Okay. I'll take her there.
I believe it's an establishment both of you would enjoy.
What did you send her to?
The Midnight Garden.
Oh. Okay. Well now.
Checking to make sure I give it said the right fucking name.
Now that the
Yep, alright.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Midnight Garden.
Yep.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the Midnight Garden?
So if the camera will pan over, or will cut over to the Midnight Garden, you'll notice that the Midnight Garden is a 20s version of the dance/nightclub, which means it has probably more tables than dance floor than you would think for a nightclub. But again, it's the 20s, so they have to rely on live bands for basically everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got more of like the the tone of like a more modern nightclub. So it's like it's darker. It's a lot harder to like get into different groups conversations just due to the more God, I'm having trouble describing this. It definitely feels like it's a place where you can be alone but in a group, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. They're very private. The private
Yeah.
tables that not many people are really able to hear what's going on. It's almost as if there is maybe a sound.
And it's
barrier.
more just that feeling where it's the lights are kept more dim than in most places like this.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely brighter on dance floors, so you don't like tripping over each other and killing each other.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely got a theme with being the Midnight Garden of something more along the lines of like, I've never read this book, so I'm going based purely off the name or play or whatever it is. The Midnight the Garden of Good and Evil.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
You're talking about one of those places that like it's not just the corners, but everywhere almost could be considered a dark corner.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. So that's where we'd be going for the Midnight Garden. She's like, sure, I'll head to the Midnight Garden with her when she's ready.
Yeah, and on the back, under the address, I'll write a phrase. If you give that to the doorman, you'll get in for free and have what we're calling bottle service.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Do you go there often?
Technically, I'm part owner.
Oh. Why do you come here so much?
It's quieter here.
You just like it better here?
Let's just say there's something about this place.
Alrighty then.
And if I didn't spend all my time here, we wouldn't have met.
This is true. Now, you asked me any other time how I got to know this place, and I told you that I got to know it after my parents.
Yeah, I'm curious as to how they found out. This isn't exactly their part of town. Not to be offensive.
Oh, I'm sure that Jack can tell you how. Jack, do you have some of that moonshine?
Oh,
He kind of looks
Owl
across.
groan.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
Mhm.
looking at what the cop and a half at the table. But as soon as you bring up moonshine, El Grimace, like, wow, why do you drink that?
I don't. My dad makes it.
Oh,
Kane's gonna shrug.
I know why you drink it.
Jack specifically has turned to lean one arm on the bar, like the cross leg stand, the most nonchalant, obviously not nonchalant stance ever. Just be like, I don't know what you're talking about. This establishment would never sell that kind of junk.
Uh-huh.
And-
He waits exactly like 1 moment, so 3.5 seconds, and then goes, I don't know what you're talking about, as he turns back.
Everybody's looking at him.
The guy across the bar is just sniggering, and he's, oh, you're gonna get it.
No, everybody's just looking at him going,
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Well, anyway.
Oh,
I mean, I've literally pictured this, that the exact angle is perfect so that from Elle's perspective, they can clearly see like the 4X jug that's clearly moonshine on a shelf directly behind his head.
I was just like, ugh, I don't see the point in drinking engine degreaser.
I don't either. I mean,
It helps you forget.
It's not.
And that's why you can't remember who you beat and when.
Oh yeah, yeah, that might explain it.
Anyway, that's how. And then
Yeah, that makes
Jeb,
sense.
Jeb brought me here.
Oh, your brother.
One time, yeah.
I don't see everybody's fascination with him.
I don't either.
He's like a sheep.
It's true. But such a pretty sheep.
Oh, that's why I call him a sheep. All fluff, no brains.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You just hear Francis chuckle in the corner.
Kind of funny when you're saying that to her. She's about as ditzy as he is.
No. She's going and passing her classes. Just because she likes going out and having a good time and playing the airhead doesn't mean she is one.
True.
She is putting forth enough evidence to the contrary.
Yeah, oh, that's true. She is. She's passing her classes. She's
To
taking
be fair,
letters.
yeah, the whole thing is she's one of those types who's learned she's attractive enough that the right stance, the right head tilt, enough eyelash flicking will get
Mhm.
men to do many things for her.
And she, yes. I'd occasionally have her do things for them, but yeah, it's on her own time and own way. And she's like, all right, well, I probably, I don't know. When's the last time you saw Candy?
Yesterday, I helped get her home after some counseling.
I hope she's doing all right. I will go check up on her tonight. See how she's doing. Although I don't know if she wants to be woken up or not.
I would wait till during the day.
Yeah, we can do that tomorrow. What are those boys talking about over there? They're always whispering.
Oh, I believe they're talking about. Let me scan the conversation. They're talking about code names again.
Codenames? They want to have code names? What are they?
No,
Some
no,
kind
no,
of
but-
gang or something?
Well, I think they think themselves in one.
Oh.
You know, the bar table gang.
You guys started talking about what you're saying right now.
I have many reservations to being called a member of that, Nathaniel.
That'd be the quickest way to get the rest of the boy down on our heads. Are you crazy? And also, I'm speaking purely in hypotheticals.
Obviously, I'm not trying to. Obviously, you're speaking in hypotheticals because your official business, of course, is your business and can't be spoken because the boy is not usually very good at what usually talking. They like to keep things, undercover, keep it in the closet, per se.
Deep in the closet, yes.
Like being a closeted boy in this case.
Of course.
So deep in the closet you find the skeletons.
So,
Too far?
all right. Now, speaking in this particular matter, so you would have names beyond the Forgotten Boys or the F Boys, as you mentioned them, in this particular situation, to where they're being forgotten about, and these are,
No, not forgotten. Forget him.
Okay. So because you're supposed to be mixing in deep undercover, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
So it's
I
hence
stand
why
by my original suggestion of the midnight.
hence why they're so set in stone being a bunch of F boys.
Indeed. As I explained, technically my official position right now is touring on investigation.
So is that you like an F boy on tour?
No, it makes me a boy toy.
Fair.
Okay, right at that moment, it's Jack's turn to spit something across the bar.
Hits Francis in the
you're-
back of the head, probably.
So you're an acting boy toy, correct?
Almost.
This time you actually do, for the first time ever, hear El Guffaw at that.
Now, I do have to point out, I do believe we're starting to gain some audience. He says, looking around as the other people kind of start laughing at the conversation, to our current conversation.
Yeah, you are getting some laughter as they're starting to flow into the bar. Just your normal, everyday people. Nothing big.
I don't know how to make all of you disappear.
But wouldn't that cause some accusations to be thrown your direction, making you a fingered
No, that-
making you a fingered F-boy?
I don't think you get it, son. I finger and pinch, not the other way around.
Not necessarily true. There are many ways to finger, especially if you're going to be a pinched in this kind of case.
You know what, Cain? Give me the moonshine.
This is what I'm drinking. He's gonna slide his glass over there.
It's just, I refuse
can I
to
get
be
some
sober
more?
for this. I refuse to be sober for this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Alright, now, Cain, here's the game. Every time they make a double entendre or a euphemism, we drink.
Oh god, we're gonna end up blacked out.
Yeah, we're dead.
You know what? Fuck it, you're fine.
I'm leaning over in my I'm leaning over in my conversation now, kind of like using like moving the two eyeballs over towards the bet with Nathaniel is like in the let's see how far we can take this and see how drunk we can get them kind of impression.
Francis will put down $5. I say it takes
Now-
less than 10 minutes.
Nathaniel tips the hat slightly and winks, so you know he's in on it.
So I think that does you do bring up an interesting question about with you being the boy toy and all like that you're usually the one doing the fingering and pinching. However, the fact that if you get a secondary boy toy, you get two boy toys in one area, obviously you probably wouldn't know each other, correct? So you'd have two boy toys in one area and nobody would know about it? Because for you to be a good boy, for you to be a good boy toy, you would never know the other boy toys are around, right? Like two boy toys in a room, neither one knows that the other one's there. Am I
Unless they
understanding?
happen to be in the same bar together. Then they are two boys in their cups.
Interesting. Go on. I'm curious where you're taking this.
But then they're cup toys.
Carol pan to a net, a man, and a jar.
Wow.
It is a good thing we are rated for mature, folks. These jokes are rated E for entendre.
Now, of course, I know we're talking about hypotheticals here. How many boy toys are part of the boys? Are you all boy toys, or is it just only some of like a select few that can be a boy toy?
Well, as far as I know, I'm the only boy toy currently in the roster. The rest are F boys.
So it's sort of like you're graduating from being, from being an F boy to a boy toy.
No, more like being demoted.
How so?
Okay, the minute you say that, Jack just crumbles.
Imagine over at the table.
There's a solid thunk as his head hits the bar and he's just giggling.
Cain and just.
How so?
Just
How are you being
continuously
demoted? I'm curious on this.
I think we're gonna need another bottle.
I think we're gonna need the jar.
At this point, Jack is probably also
Really?
taking out a thing of moonshine.
Actually, you know what? No, I think we're gonna need the jar.
Oh, I hope nothing pops up tonight. This is not gonna go well.
No, it's not.
Obviously, we're speaking hypothetically here, Mr. Nathaniel, but so that then being that you said you're being demoted, being a boy toy from being an F boy. How is that a demotion per se? Especially since it seems you have quite a bit of freedom, quite a bit of freedom being a nice boy toy instead of being under the lock and key of being a boy toy.
1 second. Well, really, it's a matter of who you finger and pinch. You gotta finger and pinch the right people to get them in the caboose.
And considering you consider
if
this a
you-
demotion,
But if you
Yeah.
finger and pinch too many, that could be kind of swell, wouldn't it?
No. It's who. Who. Not the number, but who. You see,
So it's So it's like a quality over quantity kind of thing. What you're telling me.
oh, definitely.
So
You
you
see,
want to
my
finger and pinch the
superior officer-
quality versus
Well,
instead of like fingering and pinching a bunch of random nobodies, nobody's going to pay attention to that one here. But if you were to finger and pinch, the quality, the quality people, that makes you a true boy toy in that case, instead of being just I'm sorry,
No,
true
no,
F-boy.
then I would have stayed in F-boy. A boy toy is not something you necessarily want to be. It's like alright, the superior officer report to are called daddies, alright? And Daddy Sugar, it's like he told me.
Elle is now pounding
If you-
their fist on the table, laughing.
It's a code word.
It's just.
Talk about your dad.
on it.
So anyway, it's like Sugar Daddy was telling me. You,
Right, come on.
if you're pinching,
Randy is laughing at the word sugar. Sorry.
if you're pinching the reds in the caboose, then what the hell are you doing out there? You're just sending up smoke,
You're being an office
giving people the
boy,
wrong idea.
sitting under tables,
He keeps telling me,
blowing smoke up the wrong pipe.
you're just blowing smoke up that wrong pipe. He keeps telling me, gotta move away from that pipe. It's the wrong place to look.
Right. Because you want to if you're going to be smoking the wrong pipe, it's going to be causing all kinds of issues. Otherwise, you're going to be standing around and you're going to be pinching and fingering all day long and not being able to do a thing with it.
Exactly. I might as well just be stuck in a closet searching forever.
And that's one of the things. So yes, that is true. That's true. Because one of the things that in your particular situation, hypothetically, of course, that being stuck back in that closet for forever would be kind of useless. When you want to be able to come out of that closet, and be free, so you can go out there and finger and pinch anybody you want, just like a real F-boy should.
Exactly.
See, I'm starting to understand. It might take me a minute to understand, but okay.
I can imagine. I can imagine Cain and Elle finally slowly calming down from laughing their asses off.
Until Jack sits, slamming it on the bottom of the table. I was like, oh look, a new guest has arrived.
well, now here's the thing: are you neck deep in the closet, or are you ass deep in the closet?
Oh God!
I was like, that's an easy answer.
I'd tell you, I was both. I'd tell you, for a long time, that was both.
Well, I
My
got
services were in high demand. They put me on 2 teams. I was getting double teamed.
I'll throw somebody at
I'm
Jack. If I have to pay for the table.
I'm kind of curious because next sort of situation, wouldn't you be, being tossed both ways, and you wouldn't even have time for a salad? After that point, you're trying to eat, you're gonna get tossed all over, so you have tossed salad everywhere. You're gonna have all kinds of problems.
Actually, Jack, speaking of food, can I put a kitchen order in?
Same. It's gonna be a long night. Oh my God!
Oh, Jack is laughing his ass off. He's damn near falling off the chair at this point.
Shit! They got Jack.
It reminds me of this. It reminds me of this. Well, I'm actually curious.
As I said, Boy invested a lot of trust, a lot of big, powerful things inside of me. They were absolutely convinced that I was capable of handling the situation. But
Right.
I prematurely shot my wad. And it just ended up not working out.
Fuck, I don't think 2 bottles is enough.
Okay, so which
Brandy, how many bottles does your dad deliver? You might need to make another shipment.
I can tell by dad.
Jack's holding on to the table for grim death.
I mean, for them to be, thrusting so
I'll
much,
tell
for them
my
to be
daddy
thrusting
to
so
make
much,
another shipment.
for them to be thrusting so much support into you. I mean, over and over and over again. I mean, one can only take that up the caboose for so long. After a while, you just eventually just start, become numb to it. Maybe you start to
Hey.
kind of ignore it after a time.
Jack, this drink. There's too much ice in it. Come over here, get my rocks off.
He loses his breath on the table and just starts drops to his knees, laughing his ass off.
I think Jack might need the ice to cool down.
Wow.
I think the
Damn.
boy, I think that boy over there seems to be having a lot more fun than is allowed.
No, that's the part about this entire endeavor.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't get it.
What? Dan's gonna look over.
Well,
What,
he
did
must
Daddy
be
ever
some
bend you over and spank you?
He must be some Jim Dandy, that's for sure.
Of course,
Actually, you know what? Wait a minute.
his sugar daddy, air quote, has been spanking him, but that's the entire reason he's
It
here.
actually reminds me. You ever heard of when you spoke about the sugar daddy earlier? It kind of reminded me. There's a candy company. It's actually down the road a little ways.
Pixie Dix.
I got a
It's
buddy. Of
not
mine-
a candy company, it's a bar.
I got a buddy of mine who works there.
And Pixie Dix?
Back when I was over at back when I was trying to train for the force and all that, he kind of left about the same time as I did. And he got himself working a job down at the place. And they make all kinds of fancy colors. They got the baby Ruths, they got the sugar daddies, you got all that fun stuff in there. And he make this amazing type of fudge. But one of the things he got him working on the assembly line, it's like he's working on this big fancy machine where they're taking all this fudge and you're placing in all these little packets and all that. Kind of make these little square
Oh,
things.
that packing fudge, yeah.
Yeah. He's one of the. He's currently trying to work his way up to being the elite fudge packer, but right now, unfortunately, he's not able to get there. But he is eventually trying to get. He's trying to get that on that edge. But one of the things he said, if you can get yourself to the top end of being a fudge packer, then you just don't get better after that. He just says after that, it is all smooth sailing. He just for whatever reason, it kind of reminds me about that. Because after that, you get back in the
gotta
sugar
tell you, I'm
daddy.
running out
You
of
get back in the
steam,
sugar daddy line, and after that, you never have to work a day in your life.
I'll tell you what, this old tugboat's running out of steam here. If there was a flag on me, I'd be at half-mast.
You've been talking all this entire time.
Well, it'd rather be going full sail, wouldn't you? Full mast at the end of the day.
Well, that's the only problem with that one. They're gonna give you one hell of a stiffy.
Wait. Is that whiskey in your glass? Because that would definitely not make you happy to see most people.
Just how dead is the other table at this point?
There is a crack running through the table of how many times Elle has hit it. That's why they threw money at Jack.
Yeah. Between him and
Get a
Cain,
new table.
between him and Cain, the table's pretty much broke.
The thing is, you're actually making me want to drink now.
I'm actually happy I took a double shot before we started. And taking something before we started.
Okay.
I needed that laugh. I needed something therapeutic. Thanks.
Well, you gotta be careful about that, because if you keep drinking too much like that, you might eventually take a shot in the eye.
Oh, I think he already has.
Then you load of junk in your eye. That ain't fun.
Kane's gonna look at Elle. I think we're ended up blackout drunk. You know that, right?
Yeah, I don't think I'm making it home tonight.
You might be running out of running out of money in your wallet. You don't want to blow your load all over the bar.
Oh, that's never an issue for me.
That's alright, I'll always be able to find a nice friendly stranger to take me home.
Do you at least take them out together first?
Well, actually, I'm curious about that. Isn't that one of the benefits of being an F boy? Is that being a boy toy? Because that would allow you a lot more freedom to move around and being able to get
Honestly,
rides.
it's one of the only reasons. Honestly, it's one of the only reasons I can keep. Honestly, most nights, it's one of the reasons I can still stand. I'm so drunk at the end of it all. I use a lot of people to help me out with those one-night stands.
That is true.
Hal goes to pull out a cigarillo, goes to light it, stops. This might be a bad idea. We might actually die. Puts the lighter away.
Yeah, like how much blood you got in your alcohol system now? You might be flammable.
Just that and the table.
Yeah.
At some point, they've been laughing so hard that there's more spilling on the table than actually getting drunk.
Yeah. Well.
Looks over. Nice cigarette you got that. Let another gentleman puff on that stick.
It's hand rolled, so they gotta go through me first. I didn't think tonight was gonna be this fun.
Sometimes you gotta take a puff from that pipe. You know what I mean? You know.
Oh, he knows it.
Little puff, take a little puff, give a little blow. We're puffing and blowing.
Puffing and blowing.
Blowing and
No,
puffing.
I'll be if you puff a little bit and a little bit too much in there, eventually it's just gonna suck.
Oh, don't
Then
you know it?
once you go from suck to blow, you got a problem.
That's okay. Look, I treat it all the way I treat alcohol. You either spit or swallow.
That actually reminds you. That's the name of the vacuum cleaner company. It's right down the road a little bit. They actually got sued because they used to be called From Suck to Blow, but ran into a problem with one of the original owners. So they eventually had to change it to Spit or Swallow.
Who was the owner?
I think his name was Nicholas Spitter. And unfortunately, the union got a hold of him, and he started turning into Spitters for Quitters.
Indeed.
Okay.
But seriously, let's move on.
At the Spitters for Quitters, you look over. For some inexplicable reason, there's now a pineapple on the table with Kane and Jack.
All right. It's getting later in the evening. It's still been a very busy evening. There are people around, not just you guys.
Clearly, there's a quiet audience that's formed.
But there is an audience that's been forming around the
Kings.
center. Where they're dancing and they're kind of listening, and some of them are just laughing so bad that they can't help it. The
Kane's just
laughter.
pretty much slumped over the table, just laying there. Just every now and then, just cackling.
Yeah,
Cackling.
at some point, Jack's managed to recover enough that he grabs a broom and goes over and starts sweeping at somebody who's sat on the floor.
Yeah, Al is
The
still.
last 20 minutes they've been sitting on the floor having a drink, listening to this conversation and laughing.
Yeah, Al is still kind of vertical. I look at Kane. I suppose it means I win. I don't know what I won, but I did.
Kane sits back up, takes another shot. Fuck you.
Fuck
No,
you!
apparently you fucked them.
Well, obviously he didn't hear no bell. So the F match goes on.
Oh, it goes on all night.
Oh, what a
Yeah,
busy
it's
night
lucky.
it is. All right. We're moving on later into the evening. and we're gonna go, and we're gonna pan over to Hayden and to Ashley. And they're kind of
Both staring at the door, going, "What the fuck is going on out there?"
Sir, I have some news for you. We have found some research. I don't know all of the research, but I do know that those two names that you gave me, well, I think we found out where they came from.
He kind of looks up for a bunch of papers. Having taking a cigarette out of his mouth, like, which names?
It would be Alexander Lewis and Claire Lewis.
All right. Uh-huh.
Do you remember the flood?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard not to.
Well, I think that's where the sickly sweet smell comes from. And then she shows the newspaper that she found. It's from about 9 years ago. They were there.
He leaned forward, having a look. Uh-huh.
They're of the missing report. Those two names. Bodies never found.
Did we get any follow-up on that?
No follow-up on that at all.
Right, we'll have to send some people to check that out.
Yeah. But it is interesting that these two names here are the exact names you gave me to look up, and that's what I found. I don't know anything more about it. I just know they are of the missing list.
Well, from what we found out before, I think it's safe to say you can put some tags on those jars.
Yes. Will do. I am separating them pretty much. They're not in the same area. They're like in 4 different places, so they can't come together unless the force of God brings them together. So
Well, let's hope he decides to stay out.
yes. Anyway, I thought I would let you know what I found, and is there anything else you would like me to do, sir?
Right, yes, you came through the bar, yes?
Yes, I did.
Did you see Brock?
I did not see Brock, no.
Okay, I'll have to go and see if he's out there. That should be all.
Alright.
And he'll, like, stand up, getting his stuff together.
I think I'm gonna go the other direction. There's a lot of noise going on outside. Out
Yes,
there.
I could hear that. It sounded like several were having
It actually seems like it's a jolly day. So, anyway. Ta-ta! And then she leaves.
head out and come through the door and see the aftermath. I just kind of look at the table that's basically hanging on by a thread. I just kind of like there's one of those sighs that it's like I'm not angry, I'm disappointed kind of sigh. I like.
You also smell the amount of booze on the air.
I'm gonna have to buy a new table. And he kind of looks over at Jack, who just immediately waves his hands like, I had nothing to do with it, I'm innocent. And then he will also specifically spot this guy.
The money clip.
Been hanging out here.
The money clip that was the had gotten slid over to Jack to still the table, flies and hits him in the chest.
Who? Hayden.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Oh, he'll catch it like, oh, okay, fair enough. And talk it in the well, actually no, he's gonna go over to Jack and put it under the bar. Well, that's paid for. And then he's gonna look over to as I say, this guy over here, who some may have heard of him. You won't necessarily know what he looks like, but you may immediately pick up when Hayden walks around the guy, and he's there with this huge like bag or like big satchel of journals and newspapers and stuff.
And he kind
It's
of
like-
snarl at Mr. Francis Lake.
Yeah, like the entire time he's been kind of looking iffy at Francis. Not in a I'm gonna murder you, but like, oh god, not this guy again.
Why are you still here?
Yeah. And Hayden, put the hand out, and I'm Hayden. You're here to see me, Mr. Edwards. And he will go, yeah, Brock Edwards. Insert journal name here because I forgot.
That works.
That's right. Yes, the Boston Chronicle. You had information you wanted to give to some of us, and the guy immediately turns around and like, yeah, and starts whipping out books onto the bar.
They're just whipping things out. A backroom deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Down in the corner.
He's just whipping out this big fuck off set books.
Wow, if you're gonna whip that stuff out, at least have us make an offer first.
He immediately turns to Francis like, shut up.
Sorry.
I got demoted because of you.
That sounds like your issue. Al actually drunk.
Yeah, he kind of looks over like, yeah, it is my issue because of this moron.
No, it sounds like it was your issue that got you demoted.
Cain's
Look,
Cain
he was
pretty much-
convincing, okay? He was convincing.
Cain sits back up for a moment. Sounds like a skill issue.
I thought you were dead.
No, I'm still alive.
Yeah, he's gonna look at.
Before probably face planting the table again.
Yeah, Edward's gonna
Cracks
look
and you end
over
up on the floor.
at Cain like, yeah, damn, I didn't see him breathing for at least 10 minutes.
I thought I was gonna have to bury him out
He
back.
whips out a journal. Weird guy in bar, maybe zombie? Question mark.
No, we killed the zombie.
Oh, he doesn't know that, but he would be very interested.
Cain's
I
gonna
mean,
look
we killed.
back
I mean,
up,
we
look
killed
at
a
Paul.
zombie. There might always be more.
It's just, shh, we're not supposed to talk about that, remember?
Oh, look at the bar.
This,
right.
Yeah, this is later on in the night. Like a lot of people have started filtering out and such.
Mm-hmm.
And
Just
yeah,
obvious.
so Hayden's gonna look at the guy pulling out all of these books and having a verbal tiff with Francis there for a moment, and just be like, "Do you know each other?" To which he's then going to reply, "Yeah, he sent me a bunch of stuff, and I ran some of it."
While
And
he's
we got
having
nailed.
that,
It's,
Al's gonna drunkenly wander over and like do that thing where you hang on somebody's shoulder while staring at all the things this dude has put on the bar.
Well, what you will see is a whole pile of journals going back like roughly about a century. Like a lot of these books are clearly quite old. Some of them are just like newspaper archive stuff, a few actual like journals and such, and there's all like notes, essentially the Forerunner 2 sticky notes on them, talking about cards and arson. Well, that's essentially all you can really make out from the jumbled mess of notes.
Like playing cards, or does it just say cards?
I just mentioned cards.
Yeah, fair enough.
And yeah, Hayden's going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, you don't need to peel them out on the bar. We can talk. Speaking of which, is this, like, do you have something? And he's like, "Yeah, I've got something, and I want to go over it." Well, we are in company.
We'll
And he
look
kinda
at all
gestures to the rest.
the different points of the cards of the books. You know, this looks a lot like his research, and we'll point over at Francis.
Yeah, he just kind of looks, and there's a, yeah, don't remind me. He really annoys me.
He annoys everybody. You get used to it.
Yeah.
Cain finally sitting back up after like a long minute. Yeah, he's annoying.
But he
I
knows
don't
what he's
care
doing.
for him. Yeah. Before probably face planting.
Yeah, no, looking around the bar, like, yeah, most people have basically filed out at this point, because it is, like, nearing the sort of standard closing time.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
he goes,
Jack,
"Oh,"
chicken sandwich.
Jack does so.
Cain,
He
Cain shoots up.
osmosizes a chicken sandwich.
Cain shoots up. I heard food.
Yeah, I think you and I need to eat if we're gonna have a proper conversation.
Bread.
Yeah,
Lots of
that's
bread.
why I said chicken sandwich.
Yeah, he immediately slaps his hand. "You want bread? I got you with bread." And he'll bugger off away to the storerooms and come back with, like, a bunch of stuff.
You just get buried in Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
Had that been invented yet?
It's actually
I don't
shocking.
know.
Yeah.
It's actually shockingly good garlic bread.
Fair
Like,
enough.
it is so good that you legit believe you could live off this stuff.
Cain
It's
being
so
drunk
good.
enough. He doesn't give a shit. Bread, food's food at this point.
Yep, 1921.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
So, yeah. The guy's like, "Oh, okay, fine. Like, you got a table or something." So, you know, they'll
Well,
kinda,
not that
they'll
table. That
Yeah,
this
yeah.
table. This table's kind of
table's
messed
unfortunate.
up.
Yeah, this table's kind of dead.
Imagine Cain and Elle just our arms shoot up at the midget at the side of food.
Well, no, Elle has already wandered over the bar. They are basically draped over the dude, looking over their research. Like, you know that thing where drunk people will, like, come
Yeah,
by
yeah.
somebody and then, like, hang over him? That's basically what Elle has been doing to this guy
Yeah.
Poor guy.
while eating the chicken sandwich.
Mm.
Cain's
I
gonna-
think I'm gonna head home. See you later, Elle. I'll let
Elle
you know
will
how Candy is.
Elle will wander over to Brandy, walk her out the door, give her a good night kiss, and then come back, finish the chicken sandwich. Slap themselves a couple
Yeah.
times in the face.
Well,
Alright, I'm good.
when Elle comes back and does that, Hayden will actually turn to Elle and be like, "Oh, by the way, thank you for not breaking William's legs. I have spoken to him. Don't worry about it."
Oh, yeah. I don't remember that one. It'll come back to me.
The guy you had very strong words with.
I thought his name was Gary. Oh,
No.
I've been looking into the wrong person then.
Oh shit.
Whoops.
Yeah, he's kind of gonna look with like that kind of Fry, you know, the Fry meme, not sure if. And he's like,
No, I legit thought
Like,
that dude's name was
yeah.
Gary.
"Gary was the bar fight. William is the man I sent to keep an eye on Candy and make sure."
Oh,
the
right,
to turn
yep.
up.
Okay, yep. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So I was looking at the right person. Never mind. We're good.
Cain just gets like
Look,
he takes the jug and just gets water and just starts chugging it.
Hayden just kind of looks side to side for a moment and just says, like, "Don't kill him. He's an idiot, but don't kill him."
wasn't planning on it. He just needs a lesson.
Okay, as long as it's survivable, then that won't be a problem.
No permanent damage.
Oh, lucky him.
He
Look,
can't
we
learn a
want-
lesson if he's dead.
Look, we want the hospital, not the morgue.
No, I don't even want the hospital.
Ah, damn.
They kind of look around and like, okay, so basically everyone's left at this point.
Yeah, everyone's
Like
left.
the couple bouncers have sort of ushered people out. Like, clearly they have been told to leave this group alone. Plus Hayden's here, so they're not gonna come over and be like, "Oh, you guys gotta leave." I mean,
This is
honestly,
how
like
you-
they would tell everyone to leave apart from Elle, because they're very much aware that Elle could probably beat the absolute shit out of them single-handedly with both eyes tied behind their back.
And drunk as a
They are
skunk.
aware. Yeah, they are aware that even absolutely rat-arsed, Elle is still gonna hands down beat them in a fight.
Just
So
imagining,
they got to try and move L.
just imagining trying to move Cain and Cain not wanting to move while he's just drunk as shit.
I also imagine if Cade's drunk, he just does like the boneless thing where they try to drag him out, he just goes, nah.
Yeah,
Move me now.
I kind of see that. Yeah, you
Just
try and
pure
grab him by
limp.
an ankle, you suddenly can't grasp his ankle because he just keeps going limp and falling out your grasp. So yeah, Hayden will just like, you know what? Since everyone's gone, fine, use the bar. Just go for it.
Oh, good. And then I'll push over Jack. I'm gonna eat another to the chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Just Cain.
Thank you.
So this guy starts pulling out all his books and stuff, and he looks over and he's like, right. So here's the thing. You remember the Great Fire?
Chicago?
No, Boston. I mean, the
Maybe.
Great Fire of Chicago, yes. Also, this is all tied in. I think they're connected. Hayden just kind of leans on his cane, like,
Okay.
telling his head, like, what do you mean connected?
The Great Boston Fire of 1872? That's the one you're talking about?
Yeah, and the Great
Yeah,
Chicago Fire was
Edward's like,
71,
yeah.
I believe.
Okay, wanted to make sure.
He's like, yeah, we're talking the Great Fires. Several of them. I'm even throwing in London to this. Like, this is going back before the Foundation.
Okay. What about them?
And then he expressly waits for a few seconds until everyone's looking at him and then says, "Off America. This is older than
And?
our country."
And?
Right. So, each of these cities has had a Great Fire. And he pulls out like several maps and he's actually drawn the lines between stuff. I've done a bunch of research into this in my spare time. And each of these fires has like several omens, let's say, right? Things that have happened, clearly every single one of them has had these happen prior to the fire. And I think one's being done now. And he starts digging about in his bag.
Okay.
Okay, on no follow-up, he pulls out a map and slaps it down, and there are there's four names, right? One of them is scribbled so badly you can't actually read it. But it's got a circle pointing to a gun store. Now, how up with current events are your characters?
I imagine Francis would be pretty up to date. He is a
Honestly,
teacher, he does get the paper.
Probably not. Elle probably focuses more on the supernatural, so probably not very.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
Cain,
for those
Go ahead,
for those
sorry.
that do, you will potentially recognize the location as having been in the paper a few weeks prior, where a gun owner, a gun store owner, because it's literally a gun store, appears to have shot themselves in a rather questionable setup. That essentially, what the paper reported was essentially the person was on their own and shot themselves with a high power rifle. Thing is, they're 5'8". And if you know anything about weapons, the rifle stated that was used in their apparent self-deletion, there's no way in hell they could reach it.
Well,
Because
I mean,
it wasn't shortened or anything, and there was no actual like signs of there being any kind of setup to fire this remotely.
okay.
Like, this is a highly questionable.
Like
case.
all the forensic evidence is pointing that there's no physical way she could have done it herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
And
wasn't there a court
it's a
court
he.
case that proved that some people could shoot themselves conventionally,
this is
like,
dude, this is 1927. It was a high-powered rifle, not a slam-fire shotgun.
pretty sure it was a pistol in the case, but yeah.
Right. Well, pistols also have this thing where they tend to be small. There's a reason
enough.
that this is with a high-powered rifle, as in like we're talking a full-on sniper rifle. That's typically quite a long rifle.
Well, where
Closest to that you'll get in this era is like an M1 Garand. Yeah.
No, because various bolt-action rifles existed long before.
yeah, the
Fair.
Springfield 1905.
Yeah, that's true.
Where they shot? Don't say the head. Like where in the head?
Well, that's how you know it's a high-powered rifle,
Oh, there is no head. Fair enough.
pretty much.
Oh, wait, no, because if they were shot in the forehead, the lower part of the head would still exist.
How long ago did this happen?
It's a couple weeks.
Hmm.
Specifically, 18 days ago.
Did he have his shoes on?
Who's the officer? Who's investigating it?
The news reports don't say, but it does mention the local detectives.
Okay, so they're saying
Like,
it was
yeah,
the local
essentially-
PD.
Yeah, essentially, if you look into like the notes that he's got scribbled around it, basically it appears that every time he's tried to like call up the cop shop, or he's gone to the police station to ask about this stuff, he's basically been stonewalled. Like, leave it the fuck alone. This guy shot himself. Stop asking questions.
Hmm.
Okay, so there's definitely there's definitely pressure being put by somebody.
After like a few more minutes, Cain's finally gonna get up off the floor. Okay, I'm good now.
All right, you said something about omens. How does this relate to the other cities?
He's like, well, if you have a look at these. And he points to a location on the river, just a few miles up, where just a couple days prior, a local homeless man was discovered bodiless
Like,
on the
Wait,
river
no,
bank.
discovered-
no head?
Discovered
Or,
bodiless?
Mm-hmm.
like,
Choose the
just a
found
head?
head.
Bodiless.
Yeah, they found just a head.
Oh, shit.
Okay, okay.
They found the
I
head.
was gonna say, they wouldn't have found anything if he was completely bodiless. Okay, okay.
Don't you remember the boy? Aren't you supposed to be
You,
investigating
you
this
wouldn't
kind of
say
thing?
he was. You wouldn't say he was found bodiless. You would say we found the severed head.
I was like, he's actually right on that one.
Edward looks and like, dude, I'm a journalist. I don't actually care that much to. This is my notes.
Bodiless
Journalists,
actually
you
makes for a
don't care
better
that much
story.
about how you word things.
For my notes, no, especially
Oh,
not when
fair
I
enough.
look into stuff and immediately get told to fuck off. It was an animal attack.
Fair enough.
However, that being said, animal attack, there is nothing in the rivers that would do this. And like he's got some notes that look like he's talked to a coroner and been basically writing down what they were saying. And basically they're just as, there is no way in hell this was an animal attack, but it looks like an animal attack.
And Cain's gonna wander over and look at the pictures now.
Well, it's, as I said, it's a map. He doesn't actually have pictures, but he
No.
has like a circle at the location that the head was found, and then there's like notes written down at the side. And the map is like an old map. Like it's a lot of it is kind of like browned with age. A lot of it can't really be seen around the edges and everything. So he's probably pulled this from an archive somewhere.
All that laughing is starting to cause me a headache. I'll be right back.
Cain's gonna look at L. Might be a good idea to actually take a look at that head then.
Well, I mean, if you can find where they've got it. I mean, this was just literally a couple of days ago.
They probably incinerated
I'll
it by
make a
now.
request.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, the people I spoke to, they weren't really forthcoming with info. They just wanted this like swept under the rug, essentially. Like, just make it go away. It's a hobo. They don't really care.
That's why I'm thinking they've already incinerated it.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the location itself. Because, and he pulls out one of the journals, and he mentions, he rifles through it to one of the pages that he's got a piece of paper folded over, and he looks through it. This is in like, not exactly Old English, but like there's a lot of spelling errors and such. You can tell this is somebody who has been a while back. And he mentions that he's been looking through this. Every one of these fires had very weird death around them. Like you take the fire of London. They say it was started in a barn. According to, and he whips out some other pages, there's like little excerpts that you can get bits and pieces of like people saying in their journals, I was woken up at 3 a.m. because the house next door burst into flames and such, right? And he's like, I've looked into basically everything I can find. These deaths were happening around this area literally days prior to this stuff happening. Now this happens in London. It happened in Chicago. It happened here. I'm pretty sure it's happening again.
Hold on. When you say these deaths, like similarly slightly weird deaths involving decapitations?
No, it's not all decapitations. It's multiple weird deaths.
So, okay, but does that mean that literally every weird death that has ever occurred had a fire associated with it?
No, it doesn't. Are you crazy?
That's that.
Can you not
Okay.
see the pattern in terms of this? And then he actually
Look at
pulls
other
out-
people. Like,
Hold on.
am I alone in this?
He
Like,
pulls out the thing
in
that
not
he
seeing
believes is the
the
kicker.
in not seeing the connection.
He pulls out what he believes is the kicker.
Okay.
Right?
Okay,
It's an
I'm back.
old map of London from round about the time that they had the Great Fire of London.
Gotcha.
And circled on it are 7 deaths, right? 7 locations, which are marked with these weird deaths, like this was an animal attack, but clearly not, because it was somebody in a position who, how the hell are you going to get bitten in half by something when you're sitting on the toilet kind of thing, right? It was sewer sharks, but not to worry.
Killed in a bear in a room that had not been trashed. Got it.
Yeah. Like, all of these kind of weird things. And then he notes, according to every single journal entrance and everything that he's been able to find and all this evidence, suggests the Great Fire of London did not happen where it's supposed to have started. It started at these 7 locations, which all were burned at the same time, right? You got these 7 specific locations that went up at the same time. So this was a targeted thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, so, like, this is where I'm going with this.
Wait.
When you look at Chicago, it's the same thing. And he flicks through the journal and he directly shows you the page, which has got a bunch of little, he's basically written down some news article stuff where he's got information about a group of deaths at locations that are thought to have been like the actual places where the fire of Chicago started. There are 7 of them, all in very questionable circumstances, and they all seem to effectively be in a rough circle that's the area that burned down.
All right.
And then he's like, so I mean, when you look at the time between these events, no one person could have, no one person is going to be there to set the fire of London and the fire, 100 years ago here.
So now all these, the commonality between them is like as far as the deaths are concerned, every one of them has an explanation that makes literally no sense. Correct?
For a lot of them, yeah.
Okay. Now, where did you gather all this evidence at? Because these are kind of like seemingly unrelated items, and you're trying to draw correlations between them. I mean, don't get me wrong, the evidence is intriguing, but not necessarily concrete.
He kind of stands back and is like taking a breath as if he's about to give you like the Ace Ventura
Yeah.
super huge explanation, and Hayden sort of pats him on the shoulder and like a down boy motion, like he got them from our archives. I mentioned before, our group has a number of contacts, people that we gain information from. Mr. Edwards is one of them. He's our primary contact with the Chronicle. For now.
At which point, Francis will chuckle and say, "How does it feel to know that I'm not completely crazy?"
He gives you a look like he's going to stab you in the face, but unfortunately, you know that you can't because he's being held onto by the literal divine.
Kane's
Let me
gonna look at
just-
the map. Is there any like obvious like pattern, like if you connect the dots, kind of pattern?
If you connect the 2 dots of the 2 weird deaths that have occurred recently, you get a line.
Yeah, he immediately looks like there's not just 2, there's 4 right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
But
talking
just
about
like
like
a
look at all that.
I'm talking about the old map though. Like if you're to connect the lines, is there an obvious pattern or
Yes,
anything to
there
it?
is.
Yeah, he said it was a circle.
Well,
Said it was a rough circle.
Yeah, no.
who's more likely to be aware of glyphs?
That would probably be Cain, considering his hunting.
No,
History.
it very much would be the Flake.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, this would probably come under like a, say, I don't know, either a sharp or a weird roll, wouldn't it? On if you recognize it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sounds to do sharp.
Which one do you want? I could see a divine knowing it.
Either way works.
Oh, you would definitely be able to. What would you say, Karsa? Would it be weird?
Yeah, it's weird.
All right, boys. I think I'm gonna get an experience on this one.
Oh, same. I got a -1.
Mixed success. Okay.
I also have a -1.
Nope. There you go.
Bill, you got an experience. And Francis, another mixed success. Okay.
So we all start comparing notes.
Yeah. Alright, so as you can see between the different fires, there is a glyph. The glyph does seem to be a demonic type of glyph. Possibly a summoning.
Yeah.
What makes it
it's one of those-
demonic? Like specifically, is it the shape? Is it like more to it? And what makes it demonic?
Well, strictly speaking, only one character in this entire group would be liable to know the information on that.
yeah.
In terms of, like hell has its language.
Elle would
You
know
know,
the most
the-
that it is definitely demonic, whereas Francis would see it as, well, yeah, it's the same glyph. I can see where you're going with this kind of thing. And it's the areas of where it's done is about at the same time too.
Yeah, it's essentially when you look at the locations that are circled, if you mentally fill in the lines between these in the right order, you get a glyph that is identical
Now,
across
Francis,
the two maps.
you can try for a connect the dots if you would like, or just stick with what you've got.
actually still got a hold listed down.
Okay.
From when?
So
Yeah,
Is
is
that
that not
I don't know.
This is a
Yeah,
new
that's-
mystery.
oh, then I'll roll. I'll
Yeah,
roll.
that-
Let's see if I can get something.
Pretty sure you lost that one.
Yeah, you lost that one because it's a new mystery.
Hey, mixed success.
Another mixed success. Okay, you connect the dots. The dots are showing that certain areas were hit at it in sequence.
In sequence with each other,
Yeah.
yes. Meaning that they had to be lit up at a specific time, at the specific moment, with the specific torch.
So it's very sequential, and you're able to say this happened 18 days ago, this happened 9 days ago, this happened 3 days ago, and so forth.
So is there
Which
a
means that
pattern?
you should be able to connect the dots to figure out, potentially, if we already have the start of a pattern, where and when the next critical event could occur.
Yes.
This is a huge leap in logic to make here.
Yes, it is. You would actually
Like,
have the
I sh-
right to say that.
I shot a forest man the other day, and I still say that I'm not seeing like clear evidence of any kind of supernatural thing going on currently. The sigil is interesting as far as connecting previous great fires together, but
Funnily enough,
four dead
as you're
bodies
saying that,
when you can't 4 dead bodies when we're not yet capable of accurately determining time of death
as you're saying
doesn't
that,
equate to a connection to those.
as you're saying that, you feel Hayden's Cain tap you very lightly on the shoulder, and he leans over and says, "You shot a man who dissolved into goo, and you then scooped him up into jars,
Yes.
and you think this would be a vast leap."
Yes, because there's no evidence to suggest this. I mean, it's just as likely that there's a unicorn right outside. That doesn't mean that
After
is
that, you
one.
hear a
No.
neighing.
Like, yeah.
No, they wouldn't be right outside. It's too many buildings.
That's true.
Yeah,
but-
try a few miles at the park.
No, you'd have to go out further.
Like,
Right, the woods. Got it.
I could just as easily point to 4 mysterious deaths and say that they're connected to summoning forth Mammon. Like, there's no.
Well, here's the thing. Somebody is playing with the Infernal like a fucking moron. Again.
I
And
mean, surely in the past with these, definitely.
Al has...
Like, you have with
Drawn-
4 deaths, you have a square. That's not a sigil.
It's only part of one.
Al
Well,
has
technically, you have a parallelogram, but
Al has
no,
drawn...
not a parallelogram. What's the word for it? Quadrilateral.
Hold on.
Elle has gone and drawn the full rune on a piece of paper and dropped it on the table. That's what it looks like when you have it on, when you fully write it out.
Fun.
Don't quite remember what it means.
That just looks like looks like a shape. I mean, what are you
Yeah,
getting
to you
at?
it would. That makes sense.
Kane's gonna sigh. So what I'm hearing is
What are you getting at?
probably cult and or witches. Great.
Well, what I'm getting at is, if I remembered what this is, and looks over Hayden, I might have to run downstairs for a little bit. Might be able to figure out what the hell they're trying to do, other than start a fire in the city. You, Mr. Edwards, you got my attention.
And he looks up like, thankfully, someone that's actually going to take me serious.
Yeah, you've got mine.
Seriously.
Like,
I've got nothing better to do, but
honestly, I'm happy to be wrong. I just really don't feel that I am.
I'm happy to believe you. I just need a little more evidence.
And I'm
Well-
hoping you are wrong.
That's what we're going to do. And I think we're gonna need a much bigger room than this one.
Indeed.
Yeah, Hayden just kind of chuckles like, we have spaces.
I know, but how involved is he?
He's involved enough that he has access.
Oh, good. Then let's go. I will grab a third chicken sandwich.
Kane's gonna grab one now, finally. Actually, wait. Cain pauses, goes back for a second, and goes back off.
Francis, Vinny, when we get to the conference room, would you mind taking Mr. Edwards' evidence and scouring through it to figure out the order of the deaths for the drawing of the sigils and the other fires?
Will do.
We'll do what I can.
Ah,
Cain,
crap.
I'm gonna
I gotta
need-
get paper towel. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna need your help. We're gonna need to go into the archives to see if we can see if they have what this rune means.
That's fine. I'm hoping it's seriously not what I think it is. It's obviously it's a summoning, but
Nathaniel, if you want more information on the Infernal, then I guess you can come with me and Cain. We can point you through some primers, I guess. Or help Vinny and Francis with putting together the pattern.
I don't know. I'm just hoping it's witches.
Given the time frame in between each fires, I highly doubt it.
Okay, I'm back. I've cleaned up my mess.
Alright, so you're
Probably the
You're
same
probably
group.
not wrong.
Probably the same group.
Nah, it wouldn't surprise me. So that means it's probably cult.
I mean, don't rule out witches.
It doesn't.
Probably some stupid prophecy about making hell on Earth.
Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't be the first one.
Won't be the
I mean-
last.
Yeah, Hayden just kind of looks over at the map with the partial sigil and just kind of like chuckles, and yeah, it would definitely not be the last.
However, hey, Vinny, Francis, you think you two can also try to look into the dates of those deaths and see if you can find a correlation on them along with times? Maybe we can at least prevent the next few.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
why I want them to put together the sequence of deaths from the other.
Yeah,
Because if they're making the glyph in the same pattern, then we
maybe
know
we
we're
can
not.
make a prediction of it, of where the location will be.
Yeah, then we'll know where number 5 is. Oh, Mr. Edwards,
Yes.
you have more connections than we do when it comes to investigation or
Mhm.
investigative sources. I think you're gonna have to put in some overtime.
Hey, dude, and he kind of like does like, yeah, sure, kind of gesture. Like, my services are here. Like, as I say, I want to get to the bottom of this. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd love for a story, but honestly, if it avoids this whole thing happening again, that's totally fine.
better on your conscience to know you help prevented it rather than.
Then we're gonna need your ear to the ground for when the 5th body drops.
Yeah, he immediately looks at Francis like,
That's the I hate when you're right side.
Look, I get it, but you're gonna be really helping on this one if you can at least keep an eye out for, well, an ear out for that 5th body.
Also, speaking of Mr. Hayden,
Yellow.
how ingrained is the society in the morgues?
We've yet to secure full cooperation with the police.
Oh,
Those-
luckily I'm
those
asking
in
about the
power-
hospitals.
Oh, the hospitals.
Yeah, the morgues.
yeah, you know of a sister from one of the Catholic hospitals.
Yes, we have a contact with them.
Sister
Okay.
Esther. And
And
Father,
I can
Father
find
Theodore O'Malley.
them through the Rolodex and furnish you with their information.
Well, not me, Mr. Edwards. Start there.
Oh, you would like him to do so?
We need to know when the 5th body drops and where.
And see if you can do anything, if there is any history on, if there's any markings on the body,
Well,
or what's left of it, I should say.
yeah, I don't really think. If there were demonic runes on the bodies in the previous fires, I think that would have came up in his research.
True.
Yeah, he just kind of looks like, yeah, nothing. I got nothing on that. But then, you know, the further you go back, the more sketchy a lot of the records become.
Yeah,
Like,
while they're
you would
walking.
not believe how hard those Fire of London ones were to find.
No, that makes sense. I will snap your fingers. Vinny, question.
Aye.
How strong are your contacts in the force still?
I know a few guys. What are you trying to
Anybody
look? What are you trying to look
Anybody
for?
with anybody with a coroner?
I might have one guy owes me a favor. You know,
Well, same deal. If that fifth body drops, we need to know as soon as possible.
I'll make a phone call, see what. Let's see if he'll work with me.
And if he doesn't, just shove the boy up his ass.
Heyo!
Cain,
You
you
hear,
gonna
you hear the
chuckle
sound
at
of a tankard hitting the bar as Jack just starts giggling again. As
Not
he was
only
halfway
hit the
through
bar, but
taking
you
a
hear it
drink.
notably crack.
Yeah.
No, the bar is designed to take potentially like, you know, several heads meeting at speed.
I was talking about the tankard.
Oh, the tankard. You mean the thing that's made out of solid metal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if he can ostracize sandwiches and a bar rag, he can crack a tankard on his own.
But would he? That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, you totally can put two and two together and realize that this guy's actually the Factorio engineer in his infant form. One day he will be capable of doing vast amounts of matter reconstruction in his bare hands.
All right. Well, I guess. Seeing as there was no rejections, Midnight Crew. Don't. No. You had your chance.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wait, I can now literally list all the players under here. I can now put a name to this group and stop calling them MTF Waystone.
So, I think we have a rough approximation of the plan right now. See if there's a pattern to the deaths. Hopefully there's a pattern to the deaths, just makes it a lot easier. Keep an ear out for the fifth body, and look into the sigil itself.
Pretty sure I have a book on demonology in my office if anybody wants to take a look at it.
I wouldn't mind it if you could bring it.
I shall go and grab it.
Are you
Why
going
would you
right
have
now?
that in your office?
Yippee!
I mean, he's weird. He collects various books.
He's
not
literally got silver
necessarily out
bullets.
there.
He's literally got silver bullets in his fucking hat. And that's the weird thing.
Maybe not right now. When you go to your office tomorrow for classes, bring it back.
Yes.
I think there's going to be enough in the Society archives to keep me and Cain occupied for the night.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so you guys head over to the archives, the actual archives, and start putting paperwork together. You have the four body times and dates.
Yeah, on extra, like, once you get down there and have like a decent sized table and, you know, some boards and stuff, you can properly spread all the information out and collate it. You see that you've got a couple other corpses listed as this is again a couple of deaths that have been majorly stonewalled from Brock investigating. You've got two people. And you can kind of tell that the reason that this has been stonewalled is because of who they are. You've got a guy who is only known as Mr. Blue. He's a fairly well-known amateur, you know, on his way up, blues musician. He does like all of his music is of the blues, hence he gets this name. And effectively all that Edwards has been able to put together is the fact that this guy OD'd at a party he can't even find specifically who was running the party or anything.
Or what he OD'd on.
No, there's no information on what he overdosed on either.
That's what I
Just
figured.
literally, this guy, he OD'd on something. That's it. That's all you're getting to know. Stop asking questions. But of course, because this guy's like, he's thought to possibly have some ties with maybe some higher players in the various worlds. Chances are, Elle could probably ask some questions around and maybe find out more about this guy. But if the name rings any bells for them immediately, it's because they are very mysterious and they like take their anonymity quite strongly. The other one is a Miss White. Yes, there's a naming convention there. She, as far as you can tell, and from what little information Brock has managed to gain, OD'd at the same time, on the same stuff, at the same place. And that's all he can find out. He doesn't know the order of their deaths, or even why those two are clearly at odds with the others. Because you've got a gun store owner who, like, the most notable thing that he was able to gain is that this guy is a veteran of the Great War. He was he was generally a little bit unstable, but not so much that you would be like, oh, that's a crazy guy. You know, it was more he was just a little bit iffy whenever anything to do with the war came up. And of course, the name Alistair McDermott, the hobo that was whose head was discovered, like this is a homeless guy. Essentially, there is nothing on him prior to the fact that his severed head was found on a beach, or not on a beach, on a riverbank.
Riverbed.
No, riverbank.
Yeah,
Riverbed would mean found underwater.
right.
Exactly. And yeah, when it comes to Miss White, she's quite a powerful sort of socialite in terms of it. She's known for, she's got quite a good mind for business and everything. Her father has a large empire in manufacturing and stuff, owns multiple factories around the country, some international business dealings as well. You know, he probably imports all his stuff from China, that kind of thing. But he's the big wig. Everyone is aware of him when it comes to the business world. She's clearly interested in stepping out of his shadow, and is also generally only really known that much for she appears at tons of parties and stuff, and she was essentially trying to garner like connections and stuff before tragically overdosing on unknown compound alongside this musician at a party that essentially you cannot find anything about in his notes. That it seems like in regards to their deaths, the party itself is something that no one's going to talk about. Like clearly somebody's been like, nix that from the records.
But you still know that those points, those 2 points, are still making part of that glyph because they mark up.
Yeah.
Well, if nothing else, that's weird in and of itself. They OD'd at the same party but in different locations.
Yeah.
But no,
No, that's
yeah, it's in terms of they OD'd at the same place, but their deaths are listed at, they're like far enough away to technically qualify as 2 separate locations. The problem is, both of these, the only thing he's been able to find is that it was a hotel. And the hotel ain't saying shit, because they just have an outright blank policy of we don't talk about our clientele.
well. I'll have to look into that one.
So, what do you guys want to do?
Well, Francis is going to get everything laid out in a sort of evidence tree.
Okay. So you need to connect the dots.
Yes.
Yeah, in this case, the more literal thing of he's literally putting everything out on a board and getting the red string out.
No, not even on the board, on the floor. Just because there's more space.
Floorboards. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. See, there we go. You
And
also
that's
happen
it.
to find a crate under one of the tables that is just full of reams of red wool. It's almost like
you know
they
what?
came
I'll take it.
prepared.
Like they knew
Huh,
who
it-
you were.
You know what? I'll take it. He goes into his hat, pulls out some pins.
There's one of the random researchers just kind of like walking past with a box of books, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And he leans over, pulls open a drawer for a table, and there's just like boxes and boxes of pens.
Yeah, but the ones in Francis' hat are special. Because they're also holding up the bullets.
So
Okay, so the bullets fall out your hat. What you got to do now?
No, they're still in the hat. They're just rolling around the top and the bottom of the hat.
Okay, note to self: have a janitor sweep them away.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Francis is setting out everything on the floor.
Mhm.
What are other people looking into?
spending a lot of time reading very dubious texts on infernal languages.
And Cain's doing a lot of research into demonology.
Okay. Well, in that case, because we are going to be needing to know how well you do on your connections, Let's look at one of your- Oh, Vinny's not here, so it won't be Vinny. L is...
I mean, essentially, given enough time, you will find the information you're looking for.
Mhm.
Like it's just a case of finding that information and collating it, because obviously they're not going to have the big book of hellspeak.
I would be very worried if they did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They've been keeping an eye on us for a while. They know what books not to keep in this library.
Well, no, if that shows up, I will look at Cain. We gotta burn this place down.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not so much that they know what to not keep a hold of. It's one of those things like, it's like the Necronomicon. Like, technically, it would never exist in a place the way that it does in Arkham, because that book
Yeah,
is clearly
because
you open it,
Hiskatonic
you might-
University.
you might accidentally destroy the world literally just by opening the cover. So anyone
Right.
with half a brain cell destroys it immediately. Like,
Mhm.
they would essentially do that because no one's going to be dumb enough to read that book, at least in this group. And I'm not referring to the PCs, I'm referring to Waystone here.
Mhm.
Or at least those in charge are not dumb enough to let people read that kind of book. They would.
I don't know,
Maybe
man.
have
Gary
Alright.
seems kind of dumb.
He's also not in
Gary-
the group.
He's
Gary's
out of
not
the
in the group.
group.
No. I'm talking about the one scientist that had that
Oh,
led Candy.
the intern.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a nameless intern who is definitely is.
I
If
decided to
they
name
walk
Gary.
in the door.
You're
All right,
calling
fair enough.
Gary.
If Gary the researcher walks in the door and spots Elle, they'll immediately freeze, probably make a kind of sound, and immediately turn and walk out of the room.
I named him Gary just because fucking why not?
Okay, fine. You know what? It's going on the NPC list.
Gary nameless.
So there's two Garys now.
Yeah.
yeah.
that's-
This ain't going to be a problem later on.
Ugh.
God, they're spreading.
Well.
Gariflicity.
Well,
Yeah.
he's currently going in as Gary named by Ryden.
Okay.
It's a interesting.
I'll think of the
family
last name.
Anyway,
Nuthatch.
No.
Uh,
I think
Right.
I get an idea. Hold on.
so I'd like to get a sharp roll from L, since he's the one who's looking at the demonic part.
This isn't gonna go well either. Not my strong suit.
A little better than weird. Alright, you...
Like I
you
said,
get experience.
yep. Like I said, not my strong suit.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You
Books
can't,
aren't people.
you
pretty
can't
enough.
quite connect the dots on the where this glyph comes from yet. So it will take time. And then for, I believe, Cain, what are you doing?
Reading into demonology.
Okay, I'm gonna get weird from you.
Sure, it wouldn't be another sharp roll.
Yep.
Alright.
Mm.
And this is not my strong suit. This is like a negative one on those.
I mean, you can argue that sharp.
I would argue sharp because it's reading a book.
Yeah, go ahead.
To be fair, it's a book on very weird crap.
Yeah.
True. But doesn't weird normally include using magic for that?
It's demonology. It is magic.
But you're reading into it and investigating mystery include. You roll sharp for that.
Then go sharp.
That's my argument on it.
Okay. Sharp.
Sharp is my high skill.
Oh, wow!
Hey.
Hey! We got a success. Alright, so... You do find the glyph. And it's a summoning of a fire demon.
Great. Just obvious that, yeah, it's kinda obvious. It'd be a fire demon. But Kane's gonna mention it over to L.
Yeah, like essentially it takes you like about an hour of flicking through like 6 different books and cross-referencing multiple parts to kind of work out that they each kind of give you the different parts to put this together.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out it matches mostly with the symbol that El had drawn at the bar earlier.
What are the deviations of it?
Slight deviations.
Yeah, it's mostly just like exact positioning.
Okay, gotcha.
It's like
It's
handwriting.
close enough. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're
like-
still dealing with some things that are hand printed.
Yeah, you definitely get the impression that if you were actually trying to use this yourself, you would likely have to be very precise in using it for the actual summoning. In terms of literally just drawing it to show someone like this is the shape of it, yeah, it's treated like handwriting essentially.
Okay.
Mhm.
You find that you go to find Elle a different part of the stacks. You see she's hitting out, or they're hitting out another researcher. And that's why they got a failure.
Kane's just
They
gonna
got
shake his
distracted.
head. Kane's gonna shake his head.
There's this rather attractive young researcher there with the giant glasses that clearly is out of her depth.
Yeah, she has some cheaters on. They're nice looking cheaters.
And you just see Elle is kind of leaning over them, helping them write in a different language you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Kane's
Mostly-
gonna wait a minute before clearing his throat.
Azal.
I'll be like, what? What do you got?
Found out it's a summoning for a fire,
Yeah, well, that would make
specifically a
sense.
demon. Yeah, I mean, it does make sense considering fire and summoning, obviously. But yeah,
Well, as long as it's not a specifically named one, then I think we're alright.
I haven't found that far into it yet. Keep looking.
workers back. The researcher has left. Well, damn.
You are a horn dog. You know that?
Did you at
Look.
least slip your number in their pocket?
You're not in this room.
Well, speaking of not in this room, what's Nathaniel doing?
Was went to the police station and is looking into why.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I thought you were here with the others.
Yeah, I thought so too. Okay.
All right. Well, you know what?
Well, everybody's
Smash-
doing research.
Yeah.
I really don't see why me cracking open a book along with everybody changing it. I'll
That's
investigate
cool.
something that I actually am good at investigating.
To be fair, I completely missed that because I just remembered that you know, the point was made that Elle was basically saying if you want to learn about the stuff, then come with us. I did not hear you saying that you were doing that.
I also didn't, but it makes sense.
Yeah. All right. I mean, we could smash cut over to the local PD.
Yep. We'll head over to the local
Because-
PD.
Because you'll know which one, you know, you like obviously you can look at the map, see where the stuff is. You can put two and two together to figure out which police station would be investigating, you know, which one. And most of it, there's like bits and pieces where in local PDs, and then the main like central station is where most of the records and everything tend to be kept anyway.
And well, I'd probably start by looking at whatever the closest stations were to where each body was found, because they would have done the initial investigation and find out who or what told them to turn the investigation over to someone else.
Okay. So you just kind of walking into one of the stations, yeah?
Yes, whichever one would be closest.
All right. Well, you go into the nearest one, and as soon as you walk in, there's a reception desk, and there's a very tired-looking older cop sitting there, writing out some paperwork. There's furious pencil work going on. There's a very momentary glance up as you walk in the door, and then he immediately looks back at it and continues the paperwork.
How old did you say this guy was?
He looks about like in his late 50s.
No. Out of there, fella. I'm looking to speak to whoever's in charge around here.
He just kind of looks up for a moment. Like, and who are you?
Nathaniel Prenton. BOI.
Okay.
And at this, I will show him the badge. The BOI itself is not a secretive organization.
Yeah. He'll
Like,
he'll
it's
look.
known. It's
He'll
common
sit-
knowledge.
Yeah. He'll reach over to take the badge. Do you hand it over?
Oh, it does not leave my hand, but he may examine it.
All right. Well, he will grab hold of it, not enough, and he'll kind of pull it towards him, not enough to actually pull it out of your hand. He'll
That's
kind of look
fine.
at it. He'll kind of look at it for a second. Okay, fine. And then reach over. Hits a little buzzer. You can hear a few doors down. There's a buzzer sound, and then this guy sticks his head out of the door. And then comes along. Why am I here? And
Not
this
bad,
is
the
a
pleasure of
guy.
addressing.
This is a guy that almost looks like almost the same kind of dude. Like he has that same sort of look about him. Just he's in a suit, and I immediately have to come up with a name. He's Chief something. You know what? There you go, Chief something.
Chief Summon.
Yeah, but it's like something said quickly.
Something. Chief
No, not
something.
something.
Sumptin.
Something like that. Yeah, he sticks his hand out. Yeah, who are you? Who you from?
Nathaniel Crenton. You mind if we speak privately for a bit?
Sure. And he kind of turns on a heel and like snaps his fingers. Like, come on. And he takes you back to his office and motions to the chair as he walks around the desk and sits down. All right, Mr. Prenton, what can we do for you?
Well, first off, and not to my own, that is Agent Prenton. But
Well, Agent
show the
Prenton.
badge again.
Uh-huh.
Now, Captain, I have some questions for you about a which body is this station closest in relation to?
This would be the severed head.
Severed. Okay.
Yeah. All the information you have is as soon as I grab my document again, you have that it's a guy called Alistair McDermott, and you know that it was a nearby river. I'm not looking up the map again. It's a nearby river where the head was found.
I've got some questions for you about the unfortunate incident that befell Mr. McDermott.
Kind of looks at you for a second, and then like sort of strokes his chin. McDermott. Who's that?
The name was Alistair McDermott or Alex McDermott?
Alistair.
Alistair McDermott. You fished just knocking out of the river the other day. Or at least one of your boys did.
Oh yeah, the hobo head. Yeah, that was. I had like 6 people threatened to quit. Yeah, what about him? Like some homeless guy, like I don't know, got eaten by a gator.
So we are far too north to worry about gators. Now,
Well, I mean, you tell me, what else is gonna rip someone's head off like that? House cat?
yeah, a number of things. Could I get a roll to see, like, what's going on with this guy? Because the point I'm trying to make here is that Nathaniel understands the concept of, like, burying an investigation. He's done it himself. Like, that's nothing new. He wants to try to figure out was this investigation actually, like, buried at someone's request, or is there something weirder going on? Because the only 2 people I've talked to here have been, like, dead tired and kind of, like, off about everything. I'm just trying to figure out.
Yeah, I'm just having a look here of if anything
Get a
would be
feel
correct.
of what's going on here.
I mean, I suppose if it's something that would be rolled, I suppose sharp probably, because nothing else is immediately.
No, it
What about
would be
read a bad situation?
Yeah,
I suppose that would work.
read a bad situation, please.
Okay.
Also, I was noticing there that we aren't actually on the PD.
No, you're not.
This is our generic police station map.
Yeah, I'll get it right now. Thank you
Yes.
for changing it.
Yes, I took advantage of the fact that I can.
Yes, I appreciate it. So now I will get us to there.
Mixed success.
So, essentially, like, looking at the guy, he doesn't seem to be directly, like, antagonistically hiding anything. It's literally, this is a hobo. What's important about it? He was attacked by something. Like, you don't necessarily get the impression that he's straight up hiding stuff. He's just, I gotta deal with a lot of stuff. This is not high on my priorities.
A dangerous animal released in Boston isn't high on your priority. You realize that once animals tasted human flesh, it must be killed.
Yeah, but this happened.
That's how we
when-
stay on the top of the food chain, sir.
Well, yeah, but do you
What if the
know
next
how
thing it eats is
many-
a baby?
Well, then we're gonna have a crying mother.
Well, you'll have a great deal more than that, I assure you.
You know how many dog attacks we get.
How many dog attacks result in a full decapitation?
I don't know. Thing probably took the body off somewhere. I don't know. Like, look, we sent people in, we investigated, because we got a report of a severed head on the thing, right? It's a homeless guy. Honestly, like, it's not that important, right? I got everything jumping up my ass all the time, and now I've got BOI coming in here asking me about a headless hobo.
Oh, sir, you have not yet felt things up your ass, I assure you.
He chuckled.
When I
Okay.
get up your ass, I get way up there.
Well, I would prefer if you weren't up
Next
there.
time you have a thought, it's gonna
Hey.
have to tiptoe past my graduation ring.
Well, there's a horrifying mental image. Thanks for that, Agent Trenton. I really appreciate that. Like, and you can clearly tell by his expression, like he sounds like he's not taking shit, but there's a faint smirk.
Mm-hmm.
Tell
Did
you
you at
what,
least fill out a proper report?
yes, there are reports.
May I see them?
Are you here officially?
Leans in very close. Always.
Fine. So he then like stands up from the desk. Right, we have the reports in the evidence room right now because that reasons. So yeah, he basically goes, right. I'll take you to the you can read the reports. You can't take any of the stuff that we found. Okay, I don't care if you're from the bureau. I'm gonna need official documentation if you want to take anything out.
Sure, sure.
Let's go. And he goes over, opens the door, and basically leads you directly over to the evidence processing room over here. And just in point of fact, as you walk past the steps, if you happen to glance down, you'll notice that essentially there's just like on both sides there's just a row of cell walls. Because like this isn't a major, huge place, but they do have some holding cells in the basement. He leads you in and like starts rifling through the relatively sparse but in use shelving, and comes across a very small box, lifts it down, takes out the folder. That's what we've got, and he kind of dumps it on the table. And opening it, they've got the standard stuff, you know. They've got a very a somewhat blurry picture of the severed head sitting on the sand. It kind of looks like if it had been maybe 2 or 3 hours later, then it might have been washed away by high tide. And basically, there's just a couple of things, like they asked a few questions around other homeless in the area. That's how they came up with the name, and also the fact that, you know, of course, it's always a dog walker. That's who found the remains. It was a lady out walking her dog at like 7:30 in the morning, and then started screaming hysterically about the severed head.
Oh. I'm gonna start going over what evidence there is as closely as I can. You said the picture was blurry?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like it looks like it's supposed to be taken on like a tripod,
Mhm.
but because it was on the riverbank, the tripod wasn't exactly sitting that perfectly, so somebody was trying to hold it by their hand.
Is there an autopsy or coroner's report?
The coroner's report is basically saying that, yeah, it looks like an animal attack, but clearly, yes, it would. The coroner would bet money that it was an alligator or a crocodile, but yeah, they're definitely not in the right area for those.
Now, is the
And
coroner
that-
reaching that conclusion because of the way that the severed neck was cut? This
Kinda.
is a type of police work that can be traced back literally hundreds of years.
Yeah. Yeah, like the general
Like,
gist is that it looks
Teeth
like an
sawing
animal.
through something will look very different than a knife cutting through something.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm getting at. It looks like an animal attack. If it's not, it's incredibly convincing because it looks like an animal attack, but essentially they're saying the evidence suggests that there are teeth marks, or what looks to be teeth marks. There's no tool marks, so there doesn't look to have actually been knives used. It looks like
Are
it
there
was
any-
teeth marks, but anything with teeth of that type wouldn't be big enough to do this. Anything that is big enough doesn't have these kind of teeth.
A cryptozoological wonder. One last thing. Were there any signs of any similar teeth marks on the head outside of where the neck had been severed?
No.
That's the thing. Scavengers will go for the eyes and tongue first.
Which is what's weird about this.
That is weird about this.
Essentially, it's like something's chewed through his neck, but left the rest of his head completely untouched.
Yeah. You said that
and
it was
also
done
the
by
head
you
is
said that it was done by teeth that would be too small to do. It looks like it was done by teeth that would be too small. Could a saw, like a somewhat ragged saw, produce that?
The coroner's report suggests no. They're very unconvinced that this was done by any kind of like actual man-made tool, even in a state of extreme disrepair.
One last question. Again, this is something they can determine. Does it look like the song began from the top down, or from the left to right, or that it began from two separate directions simultaneously?
You'd probably wager that from the looks of it, it was all round. Like there doesn't actually seem to be any kind of pattern to it. It
Almost
all
as if
looks
something
like
literally bit his head off.
something
That's
or,
what you
or several.
could gather, is that it probably literally
Yeah.
bit its head off.
Yeah, because the markings, in a way, kind of look like it's been, potentially something's like grabbed and ripped it apart. But then on closer inspection, it can also look like there's multiple small bites being taken. But the way that these bites appear is like something much larger. Like essentially, it's like miniature crocodiles, which is kind of baffling because there is no such thing.
Well, young crocodiles.
Very
I'm
young
talking,
ones.
I'm talking smaller than young crocodiles.
I mean, okay, we're done. Really small then.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay.
If pushed,
I have
you
my
might-
notebook with me. I'm taking notes on these things. I'm taking notes on these things, copying down various witness statements. If they saw or noticed anything, did it just wash up on the shore, or?
No.
Or was it floating in the river?
It was specifically sat on the beach,
Hmm.
on the little like sandbank at the side of the river.
Sat on the beach. Was
On
it
the
upright?
on
Like it had been
corners-
placed there?
On the corners, it seems like it never was drowned. It never ended up in the water.
Because it wasn't wet.
It was not wet.
And I specifically mentioned that it was found before high tide.
Yeah.
So yeah, the it almost looks like it was placed there. but there doesn't seem to be any kind of evidence in the ground around the place that anyone was actually close by, other than the victim themselves.
God's
Which-
sake, man. People already know about serial killers. This is a known quantity.
Yeah. And yeah, the Chief Summit, he's just like, look, man, I don't know what to tell you. Right? We went out, we checked, we took the photos. The only other thing, and he goes over to the box and he lifts out a little envelope and drops off to the side. We found this under a rock nearby. We don't even know if it has anything to do with it.
What is
And
it?
what you see before you is
Look, hold on.
okay.
It's a small brown envelope.
You see an envelope.
It's an envelope. Is it open?
Yes. Yeah, it's one of those ones with like the little button and it's got the string wrapped around it. It's roughly like the size of a standard letter, you know, like half an A4, if it's folded in half.
Okay. Is there anything inside
Yes, there is.
the envelope?
Yes. Yeah,
Mhm.
well, you can tell this is an evidence envelope, like there is a thing inside. So on opening it,
Oh, what's inside the envelope is what was found. They didn't find
Yeah.
an envelope.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. I was thinking they found an envelope and just like hadn't opened it. And I
No.
was like, damn it, guys!
no, yeah, this is like, you know, they didn't have like the plastic baggies and shit in the 1920s,
Gotcha.
so it's
That's fine.
in
That's
a
fine.
little fellow.
What you do look for inside the envelope is you see a card called the Hermit.
A card called the Hermit.
It's a
Yeah,
tarot
I-
card
It's a tarot card.
It's a tarot card.
called
Specific
the
to-
Hermit.
Okay.
The
specific
Hermit.
to the
Okay.
hermit, and it is made of wood, which is very finely been decorated. Like someone clearly took a long time to design this. The image of the hermit on the card actually appears on first glance to bear a striking resemblance to the bald head that was found. But like that, it's kind of weird. Immediately on like blinking, it doesn't quite look as close anymore. So you don't know if it's like a trick of the light or whatever, but for a second you could 100% swear it was a picture of Alistair McDermott on this card.
Huh. Well, that's getting a whole page dedicated to it in the book.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look at him, and I'm gonna look at the captain again and ask, most blatant calling card I have ever seen.
It's right at this point you notice. Are you holding the card?
Yes.
Right, it's right at this point that you notice that card feels very warm. Like way warmer than it should, considering it's been sitting in a relatively cool evidence lockup for 2 days.
You said you weren't sure if this was connected to the case at all?
I don't know. I wasn't there specifically.
Alright, well...
Also, when you look at the notes, there are a couple of patrolmen listed, and there's like a little note saying administrative leave. Well, there's
Notice that,
administrative leave for one of them. On the other one, it's medical leave.
What's that, the patrolman who fished this out? One of them's on administrative leave and the other's on medical. Just, stress, I admit. Finding a
Yeah.
severed head's not exactly part of the standard,
Yeah, he
day in the
looks
life of the
over.
officer.
He looks over and nods like, yeah. They were relatively fresh out of the academy. They were the first on the scene. They did not take it well.
Yeah. Nobody likes the 419. Severed head found.
Hmm.
Always hoping for something a little better.
Yeah, well. Hey, at least they never
As
said
they're
it.
having this conversation, I'm...
What'd you
Huh?
say?
As I'm having this conversation with the officer, I'm turning the card over in my hand, just to like get a full look of it all around. It's still warm to the touch, right?
It's warm
Yeah.
to the touch, and the picture that had the drunkard, Alistair,
Hermit.
the hermit on there, the face. The
My
face
favorite tarot card, the drunkard.
has kind of faded in the look. It's no longer looking like
No, yeah.
Alistair.
Established
It's
that.
looking like a normal face.
But yeah, you definitely feel that the card is entirely too warm for how it's been stored. Like, in modern terms, it probably feels like if you've ever printed something out on a laser printer and immediately picked it up, it's that kind of warmth. Clearly not right.
So this is carved on wood, correct?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, it's a thin piece of wood, kind of like I don't know the exact words to describe it, but it's like very artisanal. You know, it would be sold on Etsy kind of thing.
Gotcha. Well, in this case, obviously handmade.
Yeah.
Do you have an etching of this?
The guy looks across. No, but we could make one.
All right.
Yeah, as I say, if you want the card, you gotta have to get some paperwork. Because yeah, I can't just let stuff go on that. But I mean, you can get a
Yeah, you can get an
you
etching.
can do a
though.
copy. Go for it. Just don't damage it.
So you could be able to trace it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also one of those like weirdly intricate designs that would actually be really good for doing like an etching of.
You could also, because it's embossed and pretty deep embossed, you could possibly do a rubbing.
That's what I mean by the etching.
Yeah, that's what he's intending.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like the details are clearly well enough done that you will get a very good copy of it quite easily.
I'll make an etching of this in that case. I'll ask the captain if he can go and I'll ask the captain if he can fetch me some appropriate paper and some charcoal.
Yeah, he literally turns around, picks out a folder that's just like blank paper, gives you a few sheets along with a little box that's got some, there's bits of chalk and there's some like half pencils and stuff, and then.
Well, I'm assuming he's gonna have to. I'm assuming he's gonna have to like leave the room, right?
Oh no. He's watching you like a hawk.
Oh, now he cares.
It's literally that thing. If you mess with the stuff and it comes back to bite him in the ass, that's what he's avoiding.
All right, I'll do my etching and put it back inside the envelope. Thank you for your time, Captain. Hopefully, this will all just turn out to be a false alarm. But if not,
I'd like
you'll
it
be
off.
seeing me again.
Well, I'd like it off the books. Honestly, you want to come back look at the stuff? Fair enough. Just let the reception know. That's fair enough. And he'll offer the hand out to shake yours if you take it or not.
Well, I'll take his hand, give him a good firm shake.
All right. Well, thank you for your visit.
If anybody gets... Hold on 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
And, you could. BOI would very much appreciate it if you kept this particular visit on the underside, if you get my drift.
Well, as I say, it's low priority as far as we're concerned right now. We have a bunch of other stuff. If you help get this cleared, great. You'll be my best friend.
Mm-hmm. Well, be seeing you, Captain.
All right. Be safe.
All right.
Head out the door. And, like, we do not have time, but basically doing the very similar thing at the precincts that the other three murders occurred in. Like, going in, asking,
essentially,
like,
it's the same sort of idea. Like, they're not looking to actually, in terms of the gun store owner, they ain't looking to cover it up. They just don't want people coming around asking questions about the war veteran that off themselves. There's also the simple thing of, we have no idea how this guy would have shot himself with a rifle that length, but clearly he managed it.
I forget, the war veteran, was it like inside of like a locked room or something where
No, it was...
has to have, or is that them just gonna say, well, I mean, if he was murdered, then suddenly this turns into like a huge news story about you guys solving the murder of a...
Well, yeah, the whole thing is, he was found in the morning by one of his shop assistants who came in early to open up the store.
Mm-hmm.
And he was found in the back room, but like, the guy had noticed that the front door and the back door were locked, as is the standard thing. This is basically why they're saying there was no forced entry apparent, and nothing was taken. So clearly he wasn't robbed. Plus, when they interviewed his wife and a few other people around the area, like, he was losing it a little bit.
Checking to see, was there any kind of tarot card left at that one that they found while just looking around? Now, admittedly, this one, like, they might have just been assumed that it was part of the paraphernalia of the store. It still would have stood out, but, like, is there any mention of that, or they pick up something similar to that?
The cops will basically say, no, we didn't come across anything like that.
They have the address of the gun store, correct?
But one of them, you have the address, and like above the store is actually the guy's house. Going there and asking questions, like, clearly you flash a badge at her, she's gonna tell you.
I'm gonna tell her that I'm investigating the untimely death of insert gun owner store name here, but
would you mention anything to do with the card to her?
I'll ask if because like Tarot and the Occult did not have a bad name yet. In fact, we're at this point be coming off the edge of like an occult craze that Houdini was a big part of. So, like, ask her, like, did this man, did he have any, like, was he at all interested in the occult, or have any sort of like tarot cards or things of that sort?
Yeah, like, when asking her that, she'll kind of just like, no, he was in, he had his military friends and stuff. He wasn't really into that stuff. And then she'll kind of think for a minute and then say, actually, I threw it out. Just shortly after it happened, I was cleaning up the backyard, right? Because like at the back of the store, there's like a small garden. I was cleaning up some stuff there. We've got a rug that he had always spoken about hiding a key under. I told him that's like the first place some people are going to look. when I lifted that to dust it, there was a weird card under it. I think it was a tarot card. It was like made of wood. Is that what you're talking about?
Did it look at all similar to, and I'll show her.
You cut out. I'm assuming you say you show her the rubbing.
Yeah, show her. Did it look at all similar to, and I'll show her the rub.
She'll point out that like the outer edge looks almost the same.
Yeah, it
of
looks
what
like
she
it's from
remembers.
the same.
Yeah,
Looks like it's from the same.
but and she will mention that there was a word on the card. It said strength. I don't know what the symbol actually meant.
Strength to rend the lion, now eat the honeyed entrails. Curiouser and curiouser.
She just kind of looks at you when you say that, like, the fuck? There's like very strong eyebrow arching. Huh?
What? It's a Bible quote. Get thee to a church, woman.
Oh,
Anyway.
right, yes. The Bible quote. Yes. She's clearly nodding like, I'm not the filthy heathen here that doesn't attend church. Stop asking questions.
Anyway. Some more. You said that you threw it out?
Yeah, I threw it in the trash. I assumed it was something that like some kids had put under there or something. I didn't know it might be important.
Basically, like, again, I don't want to take up the rest of the time we have, but Nathaniel will do what he can to figure out, like, okay, she figured out, has trash been collected yet? And if the answer to that is yes, then, okay, what happens to trash in Boston?
Clearly,
this is all, like, gets added to the list of things that he is doing as a part of, like, stopping at each of these places to do the extra things. So priority one would be hitting like each precinct, finding out and getting some kind of confirmation about like the nature of how these deaths occurred, like weird stuff related to them, and if there was a related tarot card. Collecting the tarot cards, or at least like getting physical confirmation of their existence, is of secondary importance. Primary importance is just finding out if there was one at each of these.
Yeah, the problem with that is when you go to the main PlayStation, which is the one dealing with Mr. Blue and Miss White, they will 100% stonewall you on everything. Like
really?
immediately, like yeah, you walk in, you get the same sort of thing where there's the receptionist. Yeah, how can I help you? He'll point you to the guy in charge, who essentially turns around. You end up meeting with a detective there, who's like, yeah, what's up? You wanna investigate these stuff? Yeah, well, you're gonna have to talk to my boss. So he kicks you up the chain. Eventually, you get to the guy in charge, who basically will just outright, no, didn't happen. What are you talking about?
You're saying that there weren't 2 dead bodies.
I'm saying I don't know what investigation you're talking about.
Well, I'm referring to, and whatever like details I have or remember from our discussion of
Yeah, he just kind of looks at you like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Is he bullshitting me?
Oh, he's 100%.
Don't bullshit a bullshitter. What?
Yeah, you can immediately tell 100% he's bullshitting you. This is pressure from above.
Well, I'll apply what I'll. I guess I don't know if this would be act under pressure, possibly, or some other like similar thing. Maybe manipulate someone. I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to try and like lean as hard as I can, given that the agency moves that I picked were official pull and recognized authority. Now, granted, that doesn't guarantee I'll get anything out of them, but like I am putting as much of those into this as I possibly can to see like, okay, is it possible to get anything out of this guy?
Okay.
I think the best way for that to be represented is the guy's kind of got to. You'll be in the office talking to him, and he's got to go, look, there's a lot of pull on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yes, the whole thing happened. Thing is, you know who's involved, right? Like, White is gonna go ballistic if this hits the papers, and you know
Believe
how
me,
much
sir.
pull he has.
Believe me, sir, none of this is ever going to hit any kind of paper. BOI
both
is
are
used
actually-
to. The BOI does not want any of this ever hitting the papers.
Yeah, and what I'm getting told is the less people talking about this, the better for everyone involved. Now I've got 2 offices coming down on me to make this go away. And the last I need is a bureau agent coming around asking questions. Because then my people start talking. Now,
I'll tell you what, sir,
got
if you
a big
answer my
bell.
questions here, now, you'll never hear from me again.
It just kind of like looks around a bit. Oh my god. Oh, fuck my life. Ask your questions. I will try to help you. But I can't give you everything. There's a lot of this that there's a lot of people that are gonna be pissed.
Not just pissed. They're gonna steal. They're gonna basically fire you if you give them too much.
Yeah, like clearly this guy is under a lot of pressure. He's unhappy about it. He just wants this to fuck off out of his life. You know, he's way too old and way too important to deal with this shit kind of thing.
Well, that's why I'm talking to you, and not anyone else. Now, remind me again, what were the details that I'd previously gotten about this?
Essentially, some kind of party,
Some kind of party.
but that's essentially all he ever got is, yeah, they were at a party. And
Who was at a party?
It was at a party at a hotel, specifically a very ritzy hotel.
Very ritzy hotel party. Who was it?
you've got the names are Mr. Blue,
Mr. Blue.
and this is known by everyone to be a pseudonym. No one actually knows who he is. He specifically is very secretive about his actual real name.
But Mr. Blue is a known figure.
Yeah.
This isn't just a name made up at the moment.
This is actually an up-and-coming bluesman, or was an up-and-coming bluesman. He was starting to get his name as one of the better magicians.
Musician.
Musicians in the area.
Yes.
But he was super secretive? That's a terrible way to get your name out there.
Well, that was his whole shtick.
He
That
didn't,
is-
he didn't
essentially-
use his real name.
Nobody
He
knew.
used-
Nobody knows what Mr. Blue.
Yeah, when it comes to his stage persona, it's like if you ever remember seeing the Magician's Guide stuff, there was the masked magician.
Yeah.
They're like essentially
Gotcha.
that he's that, but for the jazz world.
So Mr.
And then-
Blue is being advertised heavily, but whoever Mr. Blue actually is a closely held secret.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Mr. Blue was killed?
Yes.
Yes. All that's known is that he died from an apparent overdose.
Died of an apparent overdose. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember this.
But basically they're not saying what it was that he supposedly took. And the other one, which is where a hell of a lot of the pressure is coming from, is
Yeah,
the
baby.
fact that he was with this Miss White. And
Miss
that's
White,
all
okay.
that's all her name will ever be specified as, because I didn't think of her first name. And she's basically the heiress to the white tycoon industry. The super well known in those worlds
She's the
Mr.
daughter of
White.
a rich. She's the daughter of a rich white man. Got it.
Yeah, essentially. He's got so much influence with all these different companies manufacturing all
And
over
obviously
the
the
place.
scandal of this is why.
Yeah, he has enough money to basically just throw money at this problem and make it go away. Because the last thing he wants is a scandal in the papers about how his daughter was totally off her face on, cocaine or whatever and died in a party with a bunch of other, socialites and everything. Like everyone comes out looking bad from that.
All right. Okay. So I'm not interested in what was in the systems. I'm not interested in any of that. I just have two very important questions. If you can answer those, I'll be out of your hair. You'll never hear about this again.
All right.
First. Okay. Fair enough. If this was told to me, it's not one of the questions, but what was the hotel? Because we had this stuff drawn on a map, but when discussing this, you said that, like, the hotel and sounded like a secret, so...
Yeah. When Edwards looked into it, he got completely shut down. The most he was able to get was from one of the lower ranking officers who mentioned like one street. The thing is, there's like 8 fairly decent hotels on that street.
Gotcha. Alright. I need to know which hotel it was at.
And what's your other question?
Well, fair enough. Hotel and room, because apparently it was a party after. The second question. Did you see anything resembling... And I'll show him the rubbing again.
It kind of looks at it like... And he'll lean in close to look at the rubbing. I don't care if you believe me or not, but no. Nothing like that. And then he kind of like lean back. Fine. And he'll pull out a little business card and from a drawer. I kind of toss it over, and it's a business card for insert hotel here. The ritziest one, blatant. It actually kind of occurs that if you'd looked at all of the places, you might have been able to think, well, this one's really good, but that one is well known as being much better. That it's essentially the best, most high class hotel there at the time.
This one serves mints, but these ones serve buttermints.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
I'll get the hotel name.
You know what? Because it's just there all the time. It's the Hilton Boston Park Plaza.
Hilton Boston Park Plaza. Okay, room number.
Yeah. And he gives you the floor and the room number.
Or room number. Thank you very much. Sir.
Let's just arbitrarily say 418.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you for cooperation. None of this is ever going to hit the papers, and if we're lucky, you'll never have to see me again.
He just kind of stands up, gestures to the door. I seriously hope not. Because if this comes back to bite me on the ass, I will tell them about the bureau agent that came asking questions.
Sure. Now, and as I open the door, just start shouting like, "This isn't the last you've heard of me! I will get to the truth! You can't stonewall me forever!"
He just kind of does the hands up gesture of the like, oh my fucking god, walks over and slams the door shut. Damn near hard enough to crack the glass, but not quite.
Well, I mean, I was going for the thing of like showing that he didn't tell me anything.
Oh, I know, yeah. Yeah, he immediately goes, oh good, right, he's actually making...
Oh no, he's playing along. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because like if you glance back as he slams the door, you can kind of see like a sort of there's a brief nod of like good. Because like he doesn't necessarily want to be a dick to you. It's the fact that his job is literally on the line if this shit hits the paper. That he
Yeah,
is
okay.
capital F fucked if it does.
Alright.
He,
I'm gonna
he
take the
is.
information that I know and I'll try and sync up with the rest of these guys. I do owe what's his face an apology.
All right. So at this point in time, I think we'll call it here.
with
Perfect
the
timing.
imagery of you driving back, with the imagery of him driving back to the archives.
Yes. And you having some
Yeah.
information. Everybody seems
Because-
to have a little bit of information.
Unfortunately,
Magica, you do that too.
I said the flake. Oh,
got
you mean
boys.
me, the person?
Yeah,
yes, you the person.
it just
You
unfortunately
know what?
your
You know what?
conclusions are like are like Giorgio Supilos. Aliens.
Yeah. Oh, that's the guy that's like, I'm not saying aliens, but aliens.
Yeah.
The History Channel meme. Because aliens.
Well,
Yeah,
Wait
honestly,
for
that
it.
is,
Aliens!
yeah, like that is actually the impression you get from Brock. That he definitely got a couple bits of this and it intrigued him, so he started looking more into it. And this has potentially been like several years of him putting little bits together. And now he's immediately like literally throbbing at the idea that this is actually happening, and it's happening now, and he's aware of it.
It's okay.
Even
haven't-
though everyone else looks at it and says, "You've got 2 jelly beans and a marble. How does this equate to, ritual burnings of multiple cities throughout time? What the hell, man?"
have you been reading letters from that fucking professor again?
It's okay. We have a little red light he could look into.
Yeah.
Alright.
Anyway, this is Magicus signing off because I do have to work in the morning.
That is fine. And this is Karsa. KarsaKKWx. Karsa's my name. KKWX is my empire. And we are calling it at this point in time. They're partially into the next story. Let's see where it goes. Have a wonderful day and goodbye.